All right, I will go ahead and get started and read the ethics conflict statement. Members of the committee are hereby advised of their duty under the State Government Ethics Act to avoid conflicts of interest and the appearance of conflict, and are instructed to refrain from participating in any matter coming before this committee with respect to which there is a conflict of interest or appearance of conflict. So does anybody have any conflicts that they're aware of?
No.
Okay. All right. So I'll hand it over to you. Mm-hmm.
There's something going on here.
Is it me?
What do you see, Nicole?
I'm getting a lot of feedback. So, and Takia can't hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can? Okay. Let's hold on 1 minute. I may need you to start over. Brian,
Okay.
it's saying it's on YouTube. And it shows I'm on YouTube.
Oh, open your browser. Do you have the YouTube stream going right now?
Yeah.
Hit mute on the YouTube stream, like the video itself, or you can just close off that window. That might have been where you saw a loop of sound.
Yeah. Okay, so then how do I get back to just regular Zoom?
Just down on the bottom, you should see the little Zoom icon. Just click on that.
Okay.
You
Well,
good?
no, I'm still on Zoom. I'm still on Zoom.
Well, you should be on Zoom.
I mean, YouTube, I'm sorry.
You can just close that browser. You don't need to have the YouTube page open. You can just close that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just close it.
It was covering it. It wasn't like I was in two different. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, so echo?
I think
No,
you're good.
We're good. We're good. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I was just getting that echo and didn't want to have that the whole time, and that's what's recording. So, okay. So, having heard no conflicts, anybody? No one has a conflict, correct? Okay. So let me just start off with a very brief summary of where we are with this opinion. So this is an inquiry of grievance regarding a lawyer possession of contraband during representation. It came to us from the Ethics Committee several quarters ago. We've been talking about this proposed ethics opinion for a while, but briefly, it is about a lawyer who represents a client in a child custody matter. The mother, he represents the mother. The mother finds the minor daughter engaged in sexual activity. After she's looked on her phone, mother says that this activity occurred while the daughter was in the custody of the father defendant, and wants to use this as evidence against the father defendant. The lawyer believes that there is evidentiary value to it and wants to know whether or not he can take possession of the photograph for purposes of presenting it as evidence in court. The proposed opinion currently has always stated that lawyers cannot possess contraband. So the ethics opinion goes through the analysis of qualifying children engaged in sexual activity as contraband. And because it is prohibited by federal law and state law to possess contraband, the lawyer cannot take possession of it. So currently the opinion provides that lawyer can never take possession of it. The lawyer does not owe a duty to the minor child because that is not the client, it is the mother. But the lawyer has a duty to inform the mother about the legal consequences of possessing contraband, and how that cannot be, or how the lawyer cannot take possession of it in order to represent the mother. The third inquiry is about when the lawyer the mother, without notice to the lawyer, sends an email to the lawyer and says, here, look at this, I want you to use this, and it's the picture. And so again, the opinion goes through the analysis of lawyer cannot take possession. In February, when the subcommittee met, the subcommittee decided that the proposed ethics opinion should be narrowly tailored to only focus on the lawyer not being able to take possession of the contraband, and the lawyer's duty to report to law enforcement or to DSS. So that is where the opinion stands now. We're back here in subcommittee because probably about 2 quarters ago, the subcommittee met and decided that we would add additional inquiries and include a discussion about asking the court for an order allowing the lawyer to take possession. But in February of this year, the subcommittee decided that those additional inquiries would be removed, and the reference to seeking a court order would be removed, and the opinion now just focuses on possession and the duty to report to either law enforcement or to DSS. And that's where we are.
Okay, thanks, Nicole. Does anybody have any questions, any comments? I know Nicole emailed us the revised version of this. Has everyone had a chance to take a look at it, and what are your opinions, thoughts?
I'll go first. This is, I think, a much more effective way of dealing with this issue, and I am in favor of the changes that have been made. I would note for typo purposes on page 3 of 5, there the header basically that starts off the second part says opinion 43 instead of opinion 3 to 4 has not been deleted, but that was the only thing I saw. I think this is just a much more effective way of addressing this issue. Nicole, do you see what I'm talking about?
I saw it in the red line version. I didn't see it in the accepted changes version.
I'm sorry, I had myself on mute. So in the accepted changes, I don't see where you're talking about. So is it inquiry number 1 or number 2?
So it was inquiry in the red line. Okay, I see where the disconnect is now. The red line version is different. It says in the red line version, it says opinion number 4, and then the 4 is not deleted and the 3 was added, but in the regular version, the 4 was deleted. So I withdraw my note. Other than that, I think this is a much more effective way of dealing with this issue. Sorry for the confusion.
That's okay. Thank you.
I would tend to agree. I think with the prior versions, we may have been getting into the weeds a little too much and making it way more complicated than it was, just based on the question that was presented. So I like this version a lot better, and I don't have any issues with it. So is everybody else agree?
I'm sorry I was late to the meeting. Thanks to Kia for chairing this committee. I think you've done a great job. It's one of those where I think we started out with something that wasn't quite right, and then we went way far afield, and then we kind of reined ourselves back in. But you did a good job with it, and I like it as it reads. And I just to relate it to the real world, had a similar situation some years back, and really didn't have much guidance or know how to handle it. Called a criminal lawyer friend of mine and kind of muddled through it. But if I'd had this guidance, it would have been a whole lot more. I mean, I think it kind of really guides a lawyer in this predicament through everything they've got to do. So yeah, I like it. I like it the way it's drafted.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. Okay. So it looks like we don't have any other changes to make to it. So what at this point, Nicole, what do we do?
So at this point, you just need to agree that you're ready to present this to the Ethics Committee for discussion with a recommendation that it be published for comment.
Okay. Does everybody agree? Are everybody ready for us to publish? We'll take it to the committee to see about publication.
Agreed. I'll move to that effect if anybody needs to move anything.
A second.
Well, all right. I think we're good to go.
Ryan, do you have any other comments or concerns? I know I just sent you the proposed with the track changes opinion. So
Yeah, I have not seen the track changes version, but the fact that that Steve and Ripley and Takia, and I presume Mr. West, I have not officially met you, but if this esteemed group of individuals thinks that we're onto something, then I think we're looking all right.
Well,
and Tom Anglum, who was our DA on the subcommittee, he agrees with the proposed opinion as written, as revised, I should say, with the changes.
Ed, did you have something?
Yeah, Brian. First of all, I don't think technically I'm on the subcommittee. I think I'm just an advisory person, so I don't know that I have a vote or anything like that. And I think this is a vast improvement. I did sort of mention something last time, and I'll just mention it again. I don't think anybody should change anything. I continue to have a concern about the criminal defense lawyer that receives contraband from a client and what they're supposed to do in that situation. And I brought that up last time, and I think it's part of the rabbit hole that we don't want to go down. And so I certainly appreciate and don't have any, I'm not thumping my chest that this shouldn't go out or anything like that. I continue to have that concern, and I think it may be something that we may, some group may have to revisit at some point. But that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I think another group may have to revisit this at some point. And that was part of our issue in the beginning. We kind of saw all these different possibilities of all these different things that could happen. And then we went way, way, way far out of the way. And so I think this, like I said before, is narrowly tailored basically to this inquiry. And, there probably will be a point where it's going to have to be revisited. But I think at this point, this kind of just fits the scenario that we were presented.
Yeah, and to be very clear, I think this is very thoughtful, and I have nothing but the highest regard for everybody who's worked on it. So please don't take that as a negative comment, more as just an additional comment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not at all.
None taken. We don't feel that way. And you all, let me just all remind you that at our last subcommittee, I think it was Steve who suggested that we just answer the questions that were asked of us. And then once it's published, we'll see what lawyers' comments are and then revisit whether or not we need to add any additional inquiries. And this may very well come up. So we'll deal with it if and when it arises, when we get comments after publication. And really the ethics committee may, other members of the ethics committee may raise that concern and send you guys back to subcommittee to revisit the issues.
Or over to the general.
I've got all the versions I've ever written and I have all my notes.
Yeah. I was gonna say, or they'll send this subcommittee over to the General Assembly to ask for a statutory change to allow lawyers to possess contraband, because that sounds like a very popular idea.
Brian said he's gonna talk to Peter about that. Just send Peter over there.
Yeah, we'll see about that. All right. Well, I guess procedurally, if the subcommittee is in agreement on this being submitted to the full committee with a recommendation of publication, then the subcommittee's work is done for now.
Mhm.
Congratulations and huzzah.
Yeah, for now. We'll see
Right.
what happens.
Okay, so I think that unless there's something else to discuss, anybody has any other questions or issues, then our meeting is adjourned.
I just want to say before we go that Darren Jordan looks so much more serious and studious since he has become president-elect. I just go deep into it there.
He's reading hockey stats right now. That's why he looks like he's paying attention.
Yeah.
I will admit that I am multitasking, but
All right.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you, everyone.
See y'all.
All right. We'll see you around.